Hello, here's my next video. This time it's all about settings. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much I love settings. I love to do the research into it. I get really involved. Writing Flight, I did a huge amount of research into the historical elements of Second World War Austria, what the situation was, what the geography of Austria at that time was, but also understanding like the food that they were eating at the time, just generally what Vienna was like at that particular time, and all those sort of things, because setting is not just geography. It is everything that is involved in that world, in your world. You have to be able to understand your world and all the aspects within it, the rules of it. You need to know how your world is going to work. Now, a good starting place is to create a map. Now, you don't have to be brilliant at drawing maps. I'm hopeless. I'd like to have shown you the map that I drew. My children laughed hysterically at it because it was so bad, but I haven't been able to find it this morning. But I drew, because my characters go on a journey, I drew the map of their journey so that I got a sense of it. And I could work out where they were going, and this way I could get a sense of how long it was going to take them. Now, Vashti Hardy is brilliant at maps. If any of you have looked at her books, this is Brightstorm, part of the Brightstorm. This is Dark Whispers. Obviously Brightstorm is another one. But look at that amazing map that she's got in her book. And I know she draws those and gets those set out. But there is nothing better than a map in a book, I think. I love them. But don't feel that you've got to be brilliant at drawing it. Just have fun with it. You don't have to be brilliant, and it doesn't matter whether you're writing fantasy, sci-fi, historical, or even contemporary, realist. Still need to draw a map, even if you're basing it in somewhere that you know really well. This is particularly important, actually. You need to still draw that map, because your reader is not going to know where you live. And you've got to be careful of something called assumed knowledge, because you might know that the park is just round the corner, but your reader's not going to know that. They're not going to know how to get there. So you've got to be able to take a step back and step into your reader's shoes and pretend that you've never ever been to this place before. And what would they see? What would it be like? You've got to think of what your rules would be. For example, if you are writing fantasy or sci-fi, how does the science work in your world? How does the magic work? What are the rules for it? I know James Nichols with his Witches trilogy, you know, he'd got all his witchery rules worked out so that they worked throughout all 3 books, and it's very clever. And you need to be able to do the same. You need to know that the same rules apply at the beginning of the book as they do at the end. You can't have them working differently. You need to think about, particularly if you're doing fantasy or science fiction, what animals and plants might be around. How are people going to communicate? Where do they live? You know, what are the politics? Where do people go to get educated? It's all those sort of things. And even with the historical one, is what was life like? If you're writing for children, what was life like for a child then? And then remembering, if you are writing for children, you are viewing that life through their eyes, not through an adult 21st century. Now, if you're children writing at the moment, so imagine what it would feel like to be then. What would you feel like if you were in the middle of a Victorian village? How would that feel? What would they do differently? Research it, see what it would be like. It's good fun, and I can quite easily spend hours getting lost in my research. It's a really good procrastination, and I have to be very limited on it. If I'm getting caught up in my writing, I will put a note saying I need to research this so that I don't stop my flow of writing. But I will put a note saying that I need to do some research into this setting and come back to it. So, but what I say today's task is to go out and to create your map. If you can find a big sheet of paper, all the better. Use lots of coloured pens and create a big map. That's today's task. Go and have fun. Bye.